It's on you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spinner Rack. I'm here with my boy Cal and Petey. Today we're going to be talking about some of the top shows, some of the shows and TV shows that we thought were great last year in 2020 during the pandemic era. And in addition, we're going to be talking about the newest shows that we think will be hits when they come out, just off of what we are hoping for. So today, let's start off with right now with the top 20 shows, 2020 TV shows or movies. We're going to start off with Petey again. Petey, what was
We're
your
not starting off with me. Sorry, we're not starting off with me.
Okay, cool. Cal, what was your top? Let's start with the TV shows first. Cal, what was your top TV shows and why for the year 2020?
Cobra Kai was definitely my top. Well, let's just do a top three. So Cobra Kai, without a doubt, excellent, well executed, and I've been holding off on watching season 3 for a myriad amount of reasons. One, I just don't want to devour it overnight, so I'm trying to hold off. I'm trying to hold off and put that one, tack that down a little bit further. I also enjoyed El Cid, or The Legend of El Cid, much more than I expected. But I have been waiting for a series like this where I got to actually see Rodrigo Diaz in a longer form. The only other thing that I was able to get of this historical figure were documentaries and, of course, the excellent film with Charlton Heston, though the excellent film with Charlton Heston took a lot of liberties in terms of what story they were going to tell. That was more like a story, and they called it El Cid, as opposed to it really giving us some fine points in terms of Rodrigo Diaz and his legend and his actual historical events. And to round it off, I'll throw in a cartoon, Blood of Zeus. That was recommended to me by Mars, and it was, again, much better than I expected. Very well executed. I even got over the part where, okay, this is a Hercules story, but we can't copyright Hercules, so we'll just do the same stuff and create a different character and with a different name. But again, still very much an enjoyable feat with a lot of stuff that came out this year. I'm pretty certain I'm missing 5 or 10 different shows, but just to get to 3 in the interest of time, that's my pick. Those are my picks.
Hey, those are some good picks, I got to say. I agree on several of them. For me, this year, since we're holding P to reserve for shows, me for this year, I would say, like I said, those are great shows too. I did enjoy them very much. But number one of all of them was Mandalorian. Mandalorian was just a show that, captured true Star Wars fans. It brought out, guest stars. It incorporated the Legends book and incorporated the TV shows, the movies. And, there was always surprises. Every episode, there was something that was going to happen that you were like, huh? No way, get out. And, was on the trending list quite often. And the thing about that was that this show came out every in the age of where Netflix drops every single episode in one shot. It came out once a week, and I thought that was pretty good. That you could have a conversation about what you thought happened or what you thought would happen, what's going to happen in the future. So definitely Mandalorian was one of my top shows for the year. Another one was doggone it. It was I like this little Amazon show that some people didn't like. What's it called? Not Free Fall. It's at the tip of my tongue. I just lost it. It was a little Amazon show. Was basically a guy who and I'll get the name now, where he ends up dying and then he has to be resurrected again. For he's resurrected like in a cyberspace by his girlfriend / fiance, and it was pretty interesting. I thought that that it wasn't a bad show. It was a pretty good show. It kept me intrigued, this Amazon show, and I was shocked that I actually ended up liking it. Very, very shocked. The actor is he's played in many. He's related to the guy from Arrow, his brother. What, I cannot believe I forgot the name of this show. I wrote it down. I'm not sure where I put it. It was called. So I'll come back to that name. My last show that I liked a lot was it was a show about a singer. Jeez, I'm literally getting a brain fart. About a Puerto Rican reggaeton artist, and he's on my playlist. I listen to him quite a bit. Nicky Jam. You know, it was done on Netflix. So it came out earlier this year. He made the rounds. And Nicky Jam, you know, he was actually born here in the States, I think in Massachusetts, and he went back to Puerto Rico to live with his father. But he was one of the first big reggaeton artists. He came up with Daddy Yankee and stuff like that. And I was pleasantly surprised by this story. I mean, it was pretty tough because he went through a lot. He had early success. There was drug abuse in his family. There was violence. There was a lot of stuff that happened. And here in the States, where they lived a pretty rough life, and also when he went to Puerto Rico and stuff like that. And it basically showed you how he was able to get out of his dilemma, his funk, how he was able to get back out there. He was a very young star, very, very young. I think he was just out of high school, or just in the late stages of high school, and he became famous. And he was stuck in a funk for many years, while Daddy Yankee continued to grow and become one of the biggest reggaeton stars, the godfather of reggaeton right now. Of course, El General from Panama is probably was the original, but getting back to him, it's how he was able to, try doing a whole bunch of stuff and was able to make a mark in Colombia and then get himself together and explode into international stardom. So those are three of my big shows there. And I can't remember the other one from Amazon. Cannot believe it's with Robbie ML. And that show was called, hold on one second, I'll tell you right now. Yeah. And the show that I'm talking about is, cannot believe I forgot the name of the show. Was Upload. It was called Upload.
Hey, you finished that? Okay.
Yeah, it was a surprising show. I watched that early in the pandemic when there was when I was working. I'm like, what is this show? And just kept on watching it. No one I heard talk about it, and probably I'll do a review before the second season comes out, if there's a second season. Petey, what was your top shows of the year? Your top 3 shows of the year?
Top 3 shows. I'm gonna go with for the fun and adventure. I'm gonna go with the 4th season of Money Heist. It's the second part of the 3rd season because it's a long. I think the first 2 seasons is one story, and the 3rd and 4th seasons is a full story. But this one, the second part of the season is a full reverse sort of Die Hard. So it's like I think the idea of Die Hard, you have these guys who are trying to steal from the royal men of Spain. They're stuck in there with one of the what's that thing? Like one of those under siege movies. Like you get stuck in there with Seagal, but Seagal is bloody minded. So you have this guy and you have these people that you like who are the criminals, and you have this official guy who's actually a real murderous guy, but he plays out the whole John McClane sort of thing in this thing. So they're still caught in this whole thing at the Royal Mint. So that's where it sort of ends on a cliffhanger. But that's one of them. I was a big fan of Veep, so I was looking forward to the creators of Veep when they did their space show on HBO, but that didn't hit the mark. So I got Space Force, not the one that Trump is talking about, the TV show Space Force with Steve Carell and John Malkovich. And it's they kind of play the political thing, but they don't tear them down totally. They give these guys, they have some heart to them. They make mistakes, but they do have some heart and that sort of thing. So they're not really mowing over them. And saying Lisa Kudrow also has a great part in it, playing his wife and whatnot, but she's not in the series altogether. She has an interesting setup with her, but all the characters are real funny, and the writing's pretty strong. And even John Malkovich, who's there to take the I wouldn't say take the piss out of Steve Carell's character, his character does that, but to an extent. And then the big climax of his stuff is kind of goes to what is it? He has a moment where they tear his character down, but in a fun way. So he has something revealed about him, which is Steve Carell's fault, and it's really funny. So, and lastly, I'm going with my nutty Succession on HBO. It's just like it's like what we'd see, the dynasty type of thing, but it's sort of played the realism. These siblings who are fighting for their father. Brian Cox, who's a favorite of mine, who played the original Hannibal Lecter as the lead. and they have these siblings, these three, is it three brothers and one sister, and they're all vying for this company. And this season, Shiv is kind of in place to take over. The person who was there, the one who was supposed to succeed, he is in the worst position ever since season one. But at the end, they somehow able to sort of figure things out. So it's a show which people come up to you and say, "Hey, do you like Succession? I don't really like these characters. I don't really like them. There's nobody I like." But it's not really a show about people that you can like, except for there's a couple of, even the guys that are sort of likable have some big, bad, terrible issues. But it's just a fun show. So those are my sort of three shows that I'm throwing in because I binged it. I'm not caught up to the season from season 5, which is this year, which is Lucifer. I'm totally sold on it. It's just hilarious. It's just a hilarious show. So that's what I'm into now.
If you're adding one more, I'm throwing in The Expanse, okay? Which I
Okay.
think is a great sci-fi opera show that is definitely, I think, overlooked. And, you really should take a look at it whenever there's a chance, because it's, if you're a hardcore sci-fi guy, they deal with a lot of the issues there a lot better than in many of the books. They try to make it be realistic of how people are dealing with things around the world. It's gotten a little bit more sci-fi lately, but as opposed to hardcore sci-fi. I mean, I'm like more grounded in what's going on, but I think that is a pretty good, what do you call it? Pretty good show overall, especially if you're a big sci-fi guy. Oh, and one more last one you would have.
No, before you do that, I'm throwing in this season of The Mandalorian, season 2, very strong. I really liked it. I'm kind of iffy on some of the parts at the end, but otherwise pretty solid.
And
So,
The Last Kingdom, Bernard Cromwell's Last Kingdom. I have some issues with the main character, but I mean, it gives me everything I want. It's dirty. It's
dirty. What was it? Dirty.
No, it gives me everything I want. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
So now, guys, what about movies for 2020? Where were the movies that you guys saw that you liked overall? We're gonna pat this one over to Cal. Cal, what were the top movies you in this past pandemic year?
Oh God, pass that to Petey. There were no movies we actually went to. It was like I was home. I could watch as many movies as I wanted. That's too long.
Right, but I'm saying what movies
Hey,
stood out? What movies stood out for you throughout?
Petey, all yours.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody's batting it up.
I saw what is it? I know I saw one movie in the theater, which was The New Mutants. And The New Mutants was okay. And I only say it's okay of how they visually represented one of the characters in the story. That's the only thing I can say. It's not really that great a movie because it should have had more McTaggart, but it's the movie I saw. What other movies out that I went to see before?
So, I mean, when I'm talking about any movies on TV also in terms of, so for example, for me, people may want to knock this, but I still like Harley Quinn's movie. I thought that was a pretty good movie. Some people were like, oh, that sucked. But you know what? I thought Harley Quinn, I went in there, I enjoyed it. I had no problems with it. The main actress did a great job. The biggest problem I had was some of the supporting cast. But overall, I thought the movie was fun. Anytime it was focused on the main actress, it did a pretty good job. My second movie that I would say is The Old Guard that came out on Netflix with Charlize Theron, and it did a great job. It really moved the dial. I was really interested that she's first of all, the director was an African-American woman, so I give her mad props. The first superhero film directed by an African-American woman. So,
but she's an accomplished director. She's been around.
But you don't have them having a lot of options.
I just want to say that it's not like this is a start of like we gave her a chance. She's already been in the thick of it for a while. So I mean, I just want to add that in there.
Thank you. Good point. And another movie that I thought was very surprising, a little long-winded for me, but I like the very fact that they did it in another country, and Chris Hemsworth came forward and did a great job. Basically.
Stop it! You stop it! You steal all the good movies. What did you say?
Extraction.
Yeah, that's it. See, you're stealing all the good movies that way.
I gave you a chance. You guys are like,
I'm looking at it now. I'm like, oh, I'm gathering them. Like, say, oh no, okay. He already said the old guard, so he stole that. But I got an extraction that I'm gonna be able to say.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything more. I got a couple more, but I'll leave that alone.
Oh, you can't say no more. All right. So what's left of that year is oh my goodness. I had something. You threw me off when you stole that one. That was my big one. But what was the other one that I had here?
And it,
Let's just go for Jingle Jangle. Like I'm gonna throw that in there. Like
okay.
for Christmas, that was pretty decent. I'm gonna throw in Project Power. I liked it. That was a lot of fun. I was surprised that no, from the trailer it looked good, and it was just a fun sort of action story. And can I throw in one more? There's gotta be one other thing that was okay that I was stuck at home because I do not want to say Bloodshot. I don't know what I reviewed and said about that, but I'm taking it all back because of that ending. That ending, because I've seen it on YouTube, it keeps popping up, and it's not the bomb. I'm sorry, I might have misled.
hey, this is best show. We're not saying bomb shows, okay? So let's not.
It's
on your list, take it out.
Not the bomb. I'm saying that right now. It's not the bomb, and I will agree with Extraction. Extraction was very strong, and I will agree with Old Guard. Those were a lot of fun. So, but wait, did anyone see Rogue from Megan Fox? Maybe that should be on our list of something to see.
I should be definitely anything with Megan Fox. So Cal, what about you? Anything on your list?
I got nothing. It was just too many films. TV I can do, like the shows, that type of stuff, but films, I must have watched like literally 100% more films than I would normally watch this year, and I already watch a lot of films. I can't do the list. Can't do it. Sorry.
Well, I'm gonna throw in one last one. I'm actually gonna throw in Tenet. I'm gonna say that the movie experience may have made this a little more exciting because at home I was but I think when I saw them do the big effect, because they do it as a big time travel thing, and it's something that they do with time travel. When they did those effects, I was like, the kid in me would totally want to go somewhere, like fight with my friends doing that sort of thing, because it's like sort of a backwards fight. And I was like saying someone would definitely try to do a backwards fight, the backwards flip, that sort of stupidity. So the kid in me really liked that aspect of some of the effects, like trying to use time travel with gunfire, all this other crazy stuff. So I'll give a nod for that. So.
Okay. I mean, I give you credit for that. I can't knock it, so I say we go for it. So listen, guys, what were some of the best, what shows are you waiting to see come out in 2021? Okay.
Isn't that a totally different show?
Oh, then let's cut that out. Hey, everybody. Thank you very much for signing in. Spin Rack.
Out.
Out. Yeah.
That was good. So let's do 2021, Petey.
Hold on.